All right, guys, so in class today we were working with the sine and the cosine, building up the unit circle, and you're going to use those values here to draw your graph. We left class saying that this relationship over here, we saw that the sine of any angle was equal to y over 1 on that unit circle. It was over 1 because that radius is 1, and that was that hypotenuse. The cosine of that angle theta was x over 1, so we could just say the cosine is x. The last connection that I wanted to make with that is when you're looking at the points on the circle, on the unit circle, any point x comma y can also be thought of as the relationship between the cosine of that angle and the sine of that angle. And we'll be using that for the next part to get some values for the next part. I then gave you a grid paper and had you say you're going to draw an x and y axis. You're going to draw this twice. Your x-axis, I want you to go out to 2 pi units and make that go 12 boxes. I think I said 2 on the y-axis. So let's go up 1 and down 1, so up to 1 and down to -1, and make that 10 boxes for each, 10 boxes tall and 10 boxes down. The chart that I want you to make, you're going to make a chart and then graph. The first chart, your x values, this is your angles. And so you're going to say, okay, well that is 0, that's pi over 3, that's pi over 4, all the way around using those values off the circle. The first one I want you to draw is the cosine of that angle theta, the cosine of that angle. I want to be careful by saying x or y because we're only going to be using one of these at a time. So the first one, your x values on your graph are the angles. The y values on your graph are the cosine values. So I would say at 0, that cosine value is 1. At pi over 3, the cosine value, or on that coordinate, the cosine value is pi, it was the square root of 3 over 2. And I'm going to use that to draw my coordinates 0, 1, pi over 3 comma square root of 3 over 2. Now that's going to seem kind of weird. Where you're going to have to, oh, excuse me, pi over 6. Excuse me, I'm not writing down the right value. So pi over 6. When it comes time to plot this, you're going to have to figure out how do I find pi over 6 on that grid? Where do I plot square root of 3 over 2 on the y-axis? So where would that show up around here? Where is that going to land? Where is that going to land? And you'll plot that point. The second graph that I would like for you to draw, again, you're going to have x values, and this time your y values are going to be the sine values. So your x values, you get 0, you got pi over 6, you've got pi over 4, so on and so forth. The y values that you're going to use are going to be the sine values of that angle. So the sine of 0, the sine of that 0 is going to be 0. The sine of pi over 6 was 1/2, and so on and so forth. To be a little better with my writing, it'll be a little more accurate, rather than saying x and the sine of theta, it's like I'm making a chart where this is my theta and my sine of theta, my theta and my cosine of theta. Your x-axis is actually your values of theta. Your y-axis, one of them is going to be the cosine of theta, the other one is going to be sine of theta. So I guess we can say of your two graphs, one axis will be theta, the other axis will be the cosine of theta, the function values. And the other one will be theta and the sine of theta. Go ahead and make 2 charts using the entire circle going from 0 to 2 pi. Find the values that go along with it and plot the points that go along with the chart. And we'll take a look and see how well that went on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Monday.